Hi, this is Olaibiwoye of Commercial Property Club. Once again, we will be diving deep into a topic I started a few weeks back, commercial property analysis. And today we'll be considering what is gross rent multiplier. Let's start by defining that. Gross rent multiplier is a market-driven indicator, a ratio in which you can estimate the market value of an income property. Let's say you presume that buyers have been recently paying X multiple times for the gross income for a property type in a certain location. Then the market value of that kind of property you are considering for purchase should work out to that same X multiple times its gross income. Gross rent multiplier do not take into account the time value of money, and it makes no differentiation between properties where tenants may pay all, some, or no operating expenses. You can decide if a detailed property analysis is necessary by finding out the gross rent multiplier of an income property. For example, if a property is offered for sale at a high gross rent multiplier than what typically would obtain at that market, you can expect that a further analysis is probably not going to make the investment look more appealing. So how to calculate gross rent multiplier? Let's define that. Gross rent multiplier equals market value divided by gross scheduled income. That's annual. A practical example is what I would consider right now. Let's say Mr. Y, an investor, is looking in the city records of 6 different Class B apartment buildings that has traded in the last 6 months in the uptown Dallas area. The sale records reveal the following, which I would consider in a tabular form of 3 columns: the apartment name in the first column, the selling price in the second column, and the gross income of each apartment in the third column. Ovilla apartment is the first apartment, selling price of $1.7 million and with a gross income of $200,000. Santa Fe apartment is the second apartment with $2 million selling price and $207,000 gross income. Dallas Villa apartment with $3 million selling price and $310,000 gross income. Stone Ranch apartment with $2.4 million and $295,000 of gross income. Richdale apartment is the 5th apartment with $1 million selling price and a gross income of $105,000. Willow apartment is the 6th apartment with $1.5 million selling price and $150,000 of gross income. Now let's consider a second table, a table in which we will calculate the gross rent multiplier from the above value table. This second table consists of also 3 columns of the apartment name, the second column being the selling price divided by the gross income, and the third column would consist of the gross rent multiplier after being calculated. The first apartment, which was a villa apartment, has a price tag of $1.7 million. We divide that by the $200,000 of gross income it carries, and it gives us the gross rent multiplier of 8.50. Santa Fe apartment has $2 million selling price and a gross income of $270,000. We divide that and we get 7.40 gross rent multiplier. Dallas Villa apartment with $3 million selling price and $310,000 gross income, when divided, gives 9.67 gross rent multiplier. Stone Ranch apartment of $2.4 million divided by $295,000 of gross income will give us 8.13 gross rent multiplier. Richdale apartment of $1 million divided by $105,000 of gross income gives us 9.52 gross rent multiplier. And Willow apartment, which is the sixth apartment, has 1.5 million selling price and that of gross income of $150,000 gives us a gross rent multiplier of 10. So to calculate the gross rent multiplier of the uptown Dallas area, you would determine that by finding the average of the 6 values of the gross rent multiplier together, and that is by adding 8.50 of Ovilla apartment with Santa Fe apartments of 7.40, Dallas Villa apartment as 9.67. You had that also too with Stone Ranch apartment of 8.13, then 9.52 of Richdale apartment also too. You had that with that of Willow apartment, which is 10. The 6 value you add it all together and divide it by 6, which is your average, and that's going to be the gross rent multiplier for that area. That gives you an insight to what the gross rent multiplier for that area is going for, and that informs you as an investor if you're trying to invest in that area and considering a certain property for you to buy. It's another day here in Commercial Property Club. I hope getting to know the gross rent multiplier is helpful for you as an investor. Join me another time on Commercial Property Club, where we go into all this knowledge-based talk that helps us invest very well in income-producing property. Thank you once again. This is Ola Ibiwe of Commercial Property Club.